Welcome to Thank God You're Not My Child. Remember, it's a comedy podcast where I talk about whatever I want to. And I'm just telling you one thing. Getting two new knees within 4 months of each other, that was a hard motherfucker. I'm just saying. Still am not over it completely. And it's just put this whole thing called living on fucking hold. I can't even tell you. At 55 years old, and I have done the marathons and the races and the Tough Mudders and the training and the jitsu and all of this. And it was hard. It's hard. So I couldn't imagine like a 75, 80-year-old that's just having knee issues getting a new knee. So that is what we're going to try not to talk about this whole episode, is the two new fucking knees. But there's been so much going on. If you're watching this on YouTube, because we're attempting to get this all videoed and all, this little girl right here, she needs a name. I haven't figured her name out yet. She is my dead baby doll collection that's happening. I have a foot too because Woofy tore it up. But yeah, so if you have any baby doll parts, P.O. Box 218, Clayton, Oklahoma, that would be what that was. Yes, you can look up the rest. It's called Thank God You're Not My Child. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to talk about being addicted to things, because that's the one thing that I have worked through on these surgeries, where I realized that when I was training for something, I always had something to focus on. And focusing on something is something I need. If I don't have something to focus on, things are going to get messed up really fast. And so for years, between daycare and training for different races and taking care of a husband, that was pretty much good. And now I have no work, getting back into the podcast because I have to have something to fucking do. This is a whole new season though, because having a couple of months off just to lay in a bed and do exercises and whatever the doctor says, you start thinking a little bit about things. And, I can honestly say I don't think I regret anything. I mean, I just don't. I do have a few things I'd maybe do different. I would like to say maybe I would have never parasailed in 2007. But if I hadn't have parasailed, I wouldn't be in the position I am now. I would have never even considered running a race. And some of those races were where I found myself. Some of those Tough Mudders were crying and walking next to my son-in-law or my daughter or friends, or carrying people on the back that you just met in those races. That's what made me who I am. So if I had not parasailed, I wouldn't be who I am today. Saying that, I can't tell you the amount of pain that would not be there if I hadn't parasailed. So, you can look back on your life and you can go, oh no, I sure wish I'd have done something different. I mean, if you remember, I had my son in high school and I thought it was hard as fuck. And I was a month. My birthday's August 1st and I had him on September 6th. Yeah, 9/6. Yeah. And let's just say it was hard as fuck. I had just turned 19. And then I can't imagine. I've had daycare kids and friends that's had grandbabies and their kids are 15. And I thought 19 was fucking hard. Yeah. So, the one thing that is on my heart big is something I'm working on is, just because somebody gets pregnant doesn't mean that it's going to change their life. Just let me tell you, it's going to change their life because you can't get around that. But it just puts it in a different direction. It doesn't run it. I had an economics teacher, Longview, Texas, the first day had me stand up. Now, mind you, my first day of my senior year was 3 days before I had my son. And this new teacher that I had, I don't know his name, thank God, because I could bash him. It's not good for revenge, but you know what I mean? There it is. That's a whole nother can of worms. Oh. Yeah, I guess I've missed talking to myself because that's basically what I'm doing, talking to myself. Episode 77, a whole new season, a season of fuck this, I'm gonna say what I want and do what I want and wear what I want. That's the last season I need. So, season 4, episode 77, that's my last season. We're just gonna go on episode 77, thank God you're not my child. Or is it, thank God you're not my child, or friend, or neighbor, or pastor, or gotta be something else. Oh, I got one. Thank God you're not my husband. Okay. That might have been just a little weird, mean. Nah, never. Remember, it's a comedy podcast where I talk about whatever I want to. Yes. So let's go back. So this was this economic teacher I had. And on my first day of my senior year, I'm going to take economics because I needed to graduate. He stood me up in front of the class and he let everyone in the class know how much I had ruined my life. Okay, I was very, 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 very pregnant. So you can imagine what he meant. At that point, I couldn't even sit sideways in the school chair. So, that was his beliefs, but you know what I mean. Yeah. And let's put it this way. I went to the counselor and I didn't have him as my teacher anymore. Because, at that point, do I have any hope of working hard enough to do a grade? Because I've ruined my life. Yeah. But that hit hard. So I like to let parents know that, we all fuck up sometimes, and sometimes they're lifelong decisions, and you're in a different direction, and it's okay. And that's kind of big on my heart. So it's one of those, you know what? If you think you haven't fucked up in your life, you're probably the problem. And I think we could all agree on that. And if you don't, why the fuck are you listening to me? Because that's pretty much what we believe here. Just be you, do you, and keep the do to a low. Yeah, that's what I'd say. So I realized through trying to heal from these surgeries, which also has made it very hard to eat. Who can say, oh, I have to eat? What sane person says, oh, crap, I have to eat? So, so I've realized I'm going to be addicted to something. I've had my fair shares of alcohol. I've had my fair share of addicted to things that I probably shouldn't be. And so I believe you need to focus on what you want to be addicted to. I'm a Christian. I want to put God first. Not always so easy when so many things around you are fucked up. And so I have to remember on a daily thing that if I'm going to focus on things, then if I'm watching negative things on TikTok or Instagram or my friends' lives or anything, what do I think is going to happen? You focus on the negative and the negative is going to become bigger. We all know that. And if we know that, why the fuck Are we paying attention to this negative shit? I don't care. I don't care. I just don't care. So you know what? I'm going to focus on doing good. I've got quite a few listener stories. Oh my goodness. I thought that taking so much time off that it was going to just be like dead zone, because you know how things work. Podcast, I don't care what it is you have. If you take a break, things get lost. And I was feeling like they were getting lost and through the pain and not having anything. And then the emails started coming in. Thank you guys. Oh my gosh. I got some really cool get well gifts and some cards, and it made me realize that even though things might be rough at times, what you focus on is what we need to do. So if you have to make a list of what you're going to focus on, let's fucking do it. You know, I'm going to put some more time in. First of all, God is the center of me. That's what I want to do. I'm a horror fan. I love watching TV. I love making TikToks. There's a lot of things I love, but there's always going to be right there, God, right there. And everything comes around him. So if it can't be closer to God because it's a sin, I don't need to be doing it. And that's pretty much how the last season of my life's going to go, because I'm positively sure I've made those decisions in my life that people probably, I know have, because, you know, I was divorced at 50 after being with my husband since I was 18. And that's 34 years, people. 34 years. Yeah, you know, I wasn't a perfect person in that 34 years, because nobody's perfect. And I know where I went wrong. And I know what I have to do to correct it. And I can't tell you what your stuff is. That's what I'm saying. No one can tell you or me what our stuff is. We all have our own stuff. So therefore, I'm focusing on God, taking care of my husband, my family. If I need things to do, I'm doing the dollhouse. If you don't know that, go search my TikTok out. Thank God you're not my child. Instagram, Facebook, all of those. I don't do Xmucks, but I've got it. It's on there. But I'm doing a dollhouse kitchen. I'm not a crafter, so hold on to your buttons. So that one's been interesting, but I have to have something to do, because retirement sucks. You think it's going to be great, but it's not always great. I used to gripe having daycare about getting up so early, and now everybody's like, oh my God, you get to sleep in. And I'm like, yeah, I get to sleep in. This morning it was thunderstorming. It's still raining. I'm shocked you're not hearing a little, rain on the top of the DeLorean. I can hear a little bit. But, I didn't have to get up. I was still in bed at 9:30. It was thunderstorming in my dark room. And it sounds wonderful. But you know what? I have realized I wasn't ready to retire. So now I got to figure, I don't want to go back. I don't know. I can imagine starting a daycare right now. Now, don't get me wrong. If I had the money to do exactly how I wanted to, I would start it, but I wouldn't want to work there. My friend Rhonda in Iowa, she works there a lot, but that's her goal, is one day to just be able to walk in and be, hi, Miss Rhonda. And, she does more of the background stuff. And that's what I would want to do. And I don't think I want to do it. So thank God you're not my child. Yep, this podcast, that's pretty much where I'm going to be talking to you guys. So first thing I'm focusing on is God. Find out your first thing, guys. Go to your second thing. I need to take care of my husband, because his work is very important to families, to kids, to parents and all. And so it's very important that I take care of him so he can do his work. I think it's okay. I am here to serve him and to make life easier for him. I know, I said it. Yeah, I know. Somebody that's, a control freak It's really weird to say that, but okay, so I'm going to do that. And you gotta keep your mind out of negative things. I miss roller derby. I miss the friends. I miss my best friends in Forsyth. And you can loggle in what you miss, or you can just step up and go, this is what I've got now. Season 4. This is what I've got now, guys. And I realized this is it. I'm 55. I don't think I want to live another 30 years. So you can look at it 2 different ways. Oh my gosh, I don't have a lot of time left. Or you can look at it like, oh my gosh, I have so much time left. Do you know what I did between the time I was born and 30 years old? First of all, my parents made me go to fucking school. That was so many hours of school. So now let's just say I have 30 more years. 85. Sorry. I'm going to leave that in there because that's just reality. I can't imagine the pain that I have in my body now with this nerve damage 30 more years in the future. And that's the negativity that I'm trying not to hang on to. It's going to be okay. I'm daily in pain, and the thought of being daily in pain for 30 years can fuck you up. So I have to not think of that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to think about today. I'm going to think about this year. I'm going to think about what I need to do to be in less pain, more walking, more hiking, whatever I have to do. That's pretty much how my life's been. And that's pretty much controlled things that I've done. So yeah, so what do you focus on? What's your number one thing? That's what it's all about. What's your number one thing? Okay, so I guess that's it. Yeah. So I've been really addicted to, if you're on TikTok, first of all, why are you following me? You know, we talked about that. This baby Judge Judy. And then I got on this app that I use to do the podcast, and I think I can do baby Donna Gay. So that's something I'm really positive about. That's something really positive. I don't have to cook dinner tonight. There's another positive. I don't hear thunderstorms, so maybe I'm not going to get wet when I go back inside. That's a positive. And do you know what else is a positive? She's going to have a name by the next episode. What should her name be? But I'm fixing to go find out. What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? So, find what you want to focus on. And let's make sure it's positive. Until next time, thank God you're not my child.